Hi there, friends. I hope you're sitting comfortably because today we're diving into something that affects just about all of us as we get older: sleep. And not just any kind of sleep. I'm talking about restful, deep sleep, the kind that leaves you waking up refreshed, energized, and ready to enjoy your day. You know what I mean, right? That feeling of waking up naturally, no jarring alarm, no grogginess, just peace. Ah, bliss. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Easier said than done? And honestly, you're not wrong. As we age, getting a good night's rest can start to feel like a luxury we rarely experience. Maybe it takes longer to fall asleep, or perhaps you wake up multiple times during the night. Or maybe, like me, you've noticed that even after 8 hours in bed, you still feel tired in the morning. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. This is one of those little challenges that comes with gaining wisdom through the years. But here's the thing, I want to offer you some hope. Because believe it or not, better sleep might be closer than you think. And the best part? It doesn't have to involve complicated routines or expensive gadgets. Sometimes, the answer lies in something as simple as what you eat before bedtime. Yes, you heard that right. What's on your plate, or in your glass, can actually make a big difference when it comes to how well you sleep. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to suggest you overhaul your entire diet overnight. No pun intended. Instead, I want to share with you the number 1 food for sleeping, and 7 other delicious options that can help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. These aren't unproven fads or trendy superfoods designed to sell supplements. These are real foods, most likely already found in your kitchen or local grocery store, each backed by science and tradition. Let me ask you this: have you ever felt like your energy is fading faster than it used to? Like you're putting in the same effort but getting less out of your day? Sleep has a way of affecting everything: your mood, your memory, even how much you enjoy time spent with family and friends. When we're rested, life feels lighter. We laugh more easily, move more freely, and connect more deeply. But when we're exhausted, even the simplest tasks can feel monumental. So if better sleep means feeling more like you again, then this conversation is worth having. Now, let's talk about that number 1 food I mentioned earlier. Drumroll please, it's tart cherry juice. Yes, tart cherry juice. You may have heard of it being touted as a miracle worker for athletes recovering from tough workouts, but its benefits go far beyond muscle recovery. Tart cherries contain natural melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating our sleep-wake cycle, as well as compounds called anthocyanins, which have been shown to improve both the quality and duration of sleep. Imagine sipping on something delicious while also giving your body the tools it needs to drift off peacefully at night. And here's the bonus: it's easy to incorporate into your routine. Simply drink about an ounce of tart cherry juice, either mixed with water or your favorite beverage, about an hour before bed. You'll start to notice a subtle shift in how quickly and comfortably you fall asleep. Of course, moderation is key, so it's best to stick with pure tart cherry juice without added sugars or artificial flavors. Your local health food store or the organic section of your supermarket should carry it, or you can find it online. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. But I'm not really a juice person. Totally fine. That's why I'm not stopping at tart cherry juice alone. Let's move on to the second food in our list of sleep-supporting superstars: almonds. Almonds are a powerhouse snack that goes far beyond their crunch. They're packed with magnesium, a mineral that plays a crucial role in calming the nervous system and promoting deep relaxation. In fact, studies have shown that magnesium deficiency can contribute to insomnia and restless sleep, making this nut a perfect bedtime companion. And here's the beautiful part: you don't need much. Just a small handful of raw or roasted almonds a day can give your body the magnesium boost it craves. Pair them with a banana or dip them in a touch of almond butter for extra flavor, or simply munch on them as a quiet nighttime ritual. Make it part of your wind-down routine, and you might find yourself drifting off more naturally. Now, moving on to the third food, something you might not expect: kiwi. That fuzzy green fruit you see stacked neatly in produce aisles isn't just a burst of vitamin C, it's also a secret weapon for better sleep. Research has shown that eating kiwi fruit before bed can help people fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and even report improved overall sleep quality. How does this work? Well, kiwis contain serotonin, a chemical that helps regulate sleep cycles, as well as antioxidants that reduce inflammation in the body, helping you relax more fully come bedtime. So next time you're at the market, grab a few kiwis and keep them on hand for a late-night snack. Slice one open, spoon out the flesh, and enjoy it quietly under dim lights. It's like nature's lullaby in fruit form. Alright, now let's ease into the fourth item on our list, oatmeal. Ah yes, the humble bowl of oats, a breakfast staple for generations. But did you know that a warm serving of oatmeal in the evening can also be a game changer for sleep? Oats contain tryptophan, the same amino acid found in turkey that makes us feel sleepy after a holiday meal. Tryptophan helps the brain produce serotonin and melatonin, making it easier to transition into a peaceful state of rest. Now, I'm not suggesting you swap your dinner for a bowl of porridge every night, but consider adding oatmeal to your nighttime menu a few times a week. Cook up a batch with a splash of milk or plant-based alternative, sprinkle in a bit of cinnamon for warmth, and maybe even add a drizzle of honey for sweetness. It's comforting, nourishing, and gently signals to your body that it's time to slow down. Let me pause here for just a moment to check in with you, friend. Are you still with me? I hope so, because we've only just begun. Think of this as a gentle journey, one where each step leads you closer to the restorative sleep you deserve. And remember, these foods are not magic bullets. They work best when combined with consistent habits like winding down at the same time each night, limiting screen time before bed, and creating a calm, dark environment for sleep. Now, let's continue with number 5, fatty fish. Salmon, mackerel, and sardines. These omega-3 powerhouses do more than support heart health. They also play a significant role in brain function, including regulating sleep patterns. Omega-3s have been linked to increased production of melatonin, meaning regular consumption of these fish can help you fall asleep more easily and stay in deeper stages of sleep longer. If you enjoy seafood, aim to include fatty fish in your meals 2 to 3 times a week. Baked, grilled, or pan-seared with a squeeze of lemon and a dash of herbs, simple preparations often yield the most satisfying results. For those who don't consume fish, omega-3 supplements derived from algae can offer similar benefits, though nothing quite compares to the whole food experience. Moving on to number 6, chamomile tea. This gentle herbal infusion has been used for centuries as a natural remedy for anxiety and insomnia. Chamomile contains apigenin, an antioxidant that binds to certain receptors in the brain, promoting relaxation and reducing stress. If you've ever sipped a warm cup of chamomile before bed and felt your muscles loosen, you already know its soothing effects. Here's my tip: brew your chamomile tea about 30 minutes before bedtime. Sit somewhere cozy, take a few deep breaths, and let the steam rise. Make it a mindful moment, no distractions, just you and your tea. If plain chamomile feels too bland, a teaspoon of honey or a slice of lemon can enhance the flavor without detracting from its calming properties. And finally, rounding out our list at number 7, pumpkin seeds. These tiny seeds pack a surprising amount of nutrients essential for sleep, including magnesium, zinc, and tryptophan. Magnesium, as we discussed earlier, supports relaxation, while zinc helps regulate sleep-inducing neurotransmitters in the brain. And when combined with the protein content of the seeds, tryptophan becomes even more effective at crossing into the brain and initiating that sleepy feeling. The best part? Pumpkin seeds make a perfect light snack. Sprinkle a handful over a salad, blend them into a smoothie, or simply eat them straight from your palm. Just remember to opt for unsalted varieties to avoid excess sodium, especially if you're watching your blood pressure. Now, before we wrap up this first part, let's take a quick moment to reflect. These 7 foods, plus tart cherry juice, are more than just ingredients. They're invitations to care for yourself in a way that honors your body's changing needs. Each one offers a gentle nudge toward better sleep, without forcing you to make drastic changes overnight. As we move forward together in the next part, we'll dive deeper into how to incorporate these foods into your daily routine in ways that feel effortless and enjoyable. We'll also explore additional tips, like timing your meals, combining foods for maximum effect, and understanding how hydration plays into your sleep quality. But for now, let's allow ourselves to sit with this information, to let it settle in like that warm cup of chamomile. You've already taken the first step by showing up here today, and that matters. Small choices lead to big changes, and choosing to learn about better sleep is a powerful act of self-care. You know, one of the things I love most about food is how it connects us, not just to our bodies, but to each other, to memories, and even to time itself. A warm bowl of oatmeal might remind you of your grandmother's kitchen. Almonds could bring back the smell of a holiday tin filled with nuts and dried fruit. And kiwi? Maybe that takes you back to a summer picnic, or a quiet breakfast shared with someone special. Food isn't just fuel, it's comfort, tradition, and healing all wrapped into one. And when we choose foods that support better sleep, we're not only nurturing our bodies, we're honoring ourselves. We're saying, I matter. My rest matters. My well-being at this stage of life matters. Now, let's keep going with our list of foods that can help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. So far, we've covered tart cherry juice, almonds, kiwi, oatmeal, fatty fish, chamomile tea, and pumpkin seeds. Each of these works in its own unique way to support relaxation, regulate hormones, and soothe the nervous system. But here's the thing, you don't need to eat all of them every night. In fact, choosing just one or two and incorporating them consistently into your evening routine can make a meaningful difference over time. Let me share a story with you, something that might feel familiar. I have a friend named Helen, who's in her early 70s. She used to be such a sound sleeper, like clockwork. But as the years passed, she found herself lying awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, feeling frustrated and exhausted by morning. One day, she came to me and said, "If I could just get one good night's sleep, I'd feel like myself again." Sound familiar? So we started small. First, she began drinking a bit of tart cherry juice in the evenings. Just a splash mixed with sparkling water, it became her little ritual before bedtime. Within a couple of weeks, she noticed she was falling asleep more easily. Then, she added a handful of almonds to her afternoon snack. That helped curb her late-night cravings and gave her body a steady source of magnesium. Slowly but surely, she felt herself shifting toward a calmer, more natural rhythm. And here's what I want you to take from Helen's experience. Consistency matters more than perfection. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. You don't have to eat perfectly every single day. What really makes a difference is showing up for yourself, night after night, with small, intentional choices that add up over time. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't often get the attention it deserves: timing. When it comes to eating for better sleep, when you eat is just as important as what you eat. For example, consuming heavy, spicy, or overly rich meals too close to bedtime can disrupt digestion and make it harder to settle into a peaceful sleep. On the flip side, going to bed hungry isn't ideal either. It can cause discomfort and keep your mind focused on your stomach instead of drifting off. So, what's the sweet spot? Aim to finish your last substantial meal about 2 to 3 hours before bed. If you find yourself getting a bit peckish later on, opt for something light and soothing, like a small bowl of oatmeal, a few slices of kiwi, or a cup of chamomile tea. These options are gentle on the digestive system and actually encourage relaxation rather than agitation. Another thing to consider is hydration. Now, I know this might seem unrelated, but staying properly hydrated throughout the day helps your body function optimally, including your ability to sleep well at night. However, drinking large amounts of fluid right before bed can lead to frequent trips to the bathroom, which can interrupt your sleep cycle. So, try to spread your water intake evenly throughout the day, and ease off in the final hour or so before bedtime. Let's also touch on caffeine and alcohol for a moment. Many of us enjoy a cup of coffee or tea during the day, and that's totally fine, as long as it's earlier in the day. Caffeine has a half-life of around 5 to 7 hours, which means if you drink a cup of coffee at 3 p.m., there's still some caffeine circulating in your bloodstream at 10 or 11 p.m. And for some people, especially as we age, even a small amount of caffeine late in the day can interfere with falling asleep. As for alcohol, while it may initially make you feel drowsy, it tends to disrupt the second half of your sleep cycle. It can cause you to wake up in the middle of the night or prevent you from entering the deeper stages of restorative sleep. So, if you're trying to improve your sleep naturally, it might be worth considering limiting alcohol consumption, especially in the evenings. Now, let's circle back to something we touched on earlier: combining foods for maximum effect. For example, pairing foods high in tryptophan, like oats or pumpkin seeds, with a small amount of carbohydrates can actually enhance the absorption of tryptophan into the brain. That's why a warm bowl of oatmeal with a drizzle of honey or a banana on the side can be so effective at promoting sleepiness. Similarly, combining magnesium-rich foods like almonds or pumpkin seeds with calcium-rich foods like milk or yogurt can create a synergistic effect that supports muscle relaxation and nerve function. Think of it like teamwork. When certain nutrients work together, they become even more powerful than they are alone. And speaking of combinations, here's a personal favorite nighttime snack idea: a small smoothie made with unsweetened almond milk, a frozen banana, a spoonful of almond butter, a handful of spinach for magnesium, and a sprinkle of chia seeds. Blend it up, pour it into a mug, and sip it slowly while winding down. It's nourishing, satisfying, and sets the tone for a peaceful transition into sleep. Of course, everyone's body is different. What works wonders for one person might not have the same effect on another. That's why it's so important to listen to your own body, to notice how certain foods make you feel and adjust accordingly. Keeping a simple sleep journal can be a helpful tool. Jot down what you eat in the evening, how long it takes you to fall asleep, and how rested you feel in the morning. Over time, patterns will emerge, and you'll begin to see what truly supports your best sleep. And remember, dear friend, this isn't about being perfect. It's about making choices that align with your well-being, with kindness and patience. Aging is a beautiful journey, one filled with wisdom, resilience, and the opportunity to care for yourself in new and meaningful ways. Before we wrap up this part, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered so far. We've explored 8 foods: tart cherry juice, almonds, kiwi, oatmeal, fatty fish, chamomile tea, pumpkin seeds, and the importance of timing and hydration. Each one offers a gentle, natural way to support your sleep without relying on medications or drastic changes. In the next part, we'll continue building on this foundation by diving into additional strategies that complement your dietary choices. Things like creating a calming pre-sleep routine, optimizing your bedroom environment, and understanding the role of movement and mindfulness in supporting restful sleep. Because while food plays a big role, it's just one piece of the puzzle. For now, I hope you feel encouraged and empowered to explore these foods at your own pace. Try 1 or 2, see how they make you feel, and give yourself permission to experiment. After all, better sleep is within reach, and it might be closer than you think. You know, sometimes the most powerful changes come not from grand gestures, but from small, consistent choices, ones that honor your body, your time, and your peace. And when it comes to sleep, those little shifts can make all the difference. We've already covered some incredible foods that support better rest: tart cherry juice, almonds, kiwi, oatmeal, fatty fish, chamomile tea, pumpkin seeds, and even the importance of timing and hydration. But I want you to think of these not just as ingredients, but as tools, gentle, natural ways to nurture your body's rhythm and give yourself the gift of deeper, more restful sleep. Now let's take this one step further. Because while food plays a huge role in how well we sleep, it's not the only piece of the puzzle. Think of it like a symphony. Each instrument contributes something unique, and when they all work together, the result is beautiful harmony. So, what are some other notes we can add to this melody of rest? Let's start with something simple yet often overlooked: your pre-sleep routine. Now, I'm not talking about anything complicated or time-consuming. What I mean is creating a gentle transition between the day and the night, a way to signal to your body that it's time to slow down, unwind, and prepare for rest. For many of us, especially as we age, our bodies respond best to consistency. Just like how babies thrive on routines, so do we. Your body loves knowing what to expect. When you go to bed at roughly the same time each night and wake up around the same time each morning, you're helping your internal clock stay in sync. So ask yourself, what does your wind down routine look like right now? Do you watch TV until the last possible moment? Scroll through your phone? Or maybe you fall into bed exhausted after a long day? If any of those sound familiar, there's a gentle opportunity here to create something more intentional. Let me share a few ideas that might feel just right for you. Maybe it's lighting a candle with a calming scent, lavender, eucalyptus, or sandalwood. Or perhaps it's sipping on that cup of chamomile tea we talked about earlier, slowly, mindfully, allowing yourself to pause. Some people enjoy reading a book that brings them joy, nothing too intense, nothing that keeps the mind racing. Others find comfort in journaling or writing down a few thoughts before bed. And here's a tip that might surprise you: turn off the screens at least an hour before bedtime. I know, easier said than done. But the blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and TVs actually suppresses melatonin production, the very hormone that helps us fall asleep. So if you can replace screen time with something else, like listening to soothing music, doing a few gentle stretches, or simply sitting quietly with a warm drink, you may find yourself feeling calmer, more centered, and ready for sleep much sooner. Another thing to consider is your bedroom environment. Is your space set up for rest? Take a moment to imagine your bedroom, not just how it looks, but how it feels. Is it cool, dark, and quiet? These are ideal conditions for sleep because they help your body maintain its natural temperature drop that occurs at night. If outside noise is a problem, consider using a white noise machine or a fan to create a steady, soothing background hum. And if light is an issue, even streetlights shining through your window, an eye mask can be a game changer. There's something deeply comforting about darkness. It tells your brain it's safe to relax, to let go, to drift off. Now, let's talk about movement. Yes, physical activity plays a role in sleep, too. And no, you don't need to run a marathon or lift heavy weights to reap the benefits. Gentle movement throughout the day, like walking, stretching, yoga, or even gardening, can help regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Think of it this way: when you move your body during the day, you're signaling to your system that you're active, awake, and engaged. Then, when nighttime comes, your body naturally begins to shift into rest mode. It's like giving your nervous system a clear message. Today was full of life, but now it's time to recharge. Just remember, though, to avoid vigorous exercise too close to bedtime. It can be stimulating for some people and delay the onset of sleep. Instead, aim for movement earlier in the day. Even a short walk after lunch or a few minutes of stretching in the late afternoon can make a noticeable difference. And speaking of movement, have you ever tried mindfulness or breathing exercises before bed? These can be incredibly helpful for calming the mind and easing tension in the body. One simple technique I love is called the 4-7-8 breath. Here's how it works. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat this cycle 3 or 4 times, and you'll likely notice a shift in your energy. Your heart rate slows, your muscles relax, and your mind begins to settle. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat this cycle 3 or 4 times, and you'll likely notice a shift in your energy. Your heart rate slows, your muscles relax, and your mind begins to settle. It's a beautiful way to bring awareness to your breath and release any lingering stress or worry from the day. And the best part? You can do it anywhere, in bed, in a chair, even sitting upright with your back supported. Now let's circle back to something we touched on earlier: patience. Because getting better sleep isn't always about fixing something broken, it's about tuning in, listening to your body, and making adjustments with kindness and curiosity. Some nights will still be restless. That's okay. Life happens. What matters most is how you respond. If you wake up in the middle of the night, try not to panic. Instead, remind yourself that rest is still rest, even if you're not asleep the entire time. Give yourself permission to lie there peacefully, breathing deeply, allowing your body to recover. And if you find yourself lying awake for more than 20 minutes, get up and do something quiet and calming. Read a book, sip some water, or sit by a window and listen to the night sounds. Trying too hard to force sleep can actually keep it at bay. Sometimes, stepping away for a few minutes and then returning to bed with a relaxed mindset can help ease you back into slumber. Before we wrap up this part, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've explored together so far. We've looked at foods that support better sleep, 8 in total, each offering something unique to help your body relax and reset. We've talked about the importance of timing, hydration, and avoiding stimulants like caffeine and alcohol later in the day. We've also touched on lifestyle factors like winding down with intention, optimizing your sleep environment, staying gently active, and incorporating mindfulness practices. Each of these elements works together to create a foundation for better sleep, not just tonight, but over time. And remember, dear friend, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Small, consistent steps that honor your body and support your well-being at this beautiful stage of life. In the final part of this series, we'll wrap things up by revisiting some of the key points, sharing a few additional tips, and reminding ourselves why this journey toward better sleep is so meaningful. We'll also talk about how to stay motivated, how to celebrate your progress, and how to continue nurturing your health beyond just sleep. But for now, I hope you feel encouraged and empowered to explore these ideas at your own pace. Try one new habit, see how it makes you feel, and trust that every small choice you make is bringing you closer to the restful, rejuvenating sleep you deserve. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next and final part. Until then, I hope you enjoy a peaceful, restful night ahead and wake up tomorrow feeling refreshed and ready to embrace the day. Here's to sleeping well, living fully, and cherishing every moment of this beautiful journey we call life.